Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about GamerGate coming back.
Again.
Nobody wants GamerGate to come back except some of the personalities closely associated with GamerGate.
They need attention.
They need attention or something. We're going to talk about this because, you know, we've done multiple videos where like, why are they making a GamerGate movie? Why are they bringing GamerGate up in mainstream media? Why are they tying GamerGate, something that happened years ago, to something that just happened a couple of months ago? And it does seem that there's something going on behind the scenes. It's a marketing thing. It's a political thing to just be like, oh, we don't know why it's bad, just GamerGate. And even freaking Henry Cavill's getting dragged into the conversation.
Oh, yes, he's basically QAnon.
He's basically QAnon. So we're going to talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Almost 283,000 subs.
Woo-hoo!
Thank you for the support.
I thought we were over 283.
We're getting there.
Okay.
We're almost there. We're almost there. We're like 50 away. We could be over. By the time this gets posted, we could be over. So here's the thing. Just want to reiterate, because somehow we wound up on lists of GamerGate personalities. We weren't even on YouTube when GamerGate was a thing.
We weren't part of the thing at all.
I didn't even know anything about GamerGate until years after the fact. It was like, oh, because I knew video game websites had gotten weirdly political, but I couldn't quite put my finger on what was going on. So I didn't know anything about any of this stuff going on. I don't visit 4chan or Kiwi forums or any of these forums, so I had no idea any of this shit was going on. That being said, now GamerGate is retroactively being blamed for everything.
It's a pandemic or GamerGate?
The pandemic or GamerGate, yes. And we've done videos about this. Like, why the hell are they trying to bring this up? They tried to cancel a developer off of the Harry Potter Hogwarts Legacy because they dug up videos he did like 8 years ago, and they thought, well, he's GamerGate adjacent, so we gotta cancel this guy. When in reality, it was they're pissed off that J.K. Rowling was still getting paid.
Right. And you have certain personalities associated with the movement that just will not stop because they're just desperately trying to get any kind of attention they can get at this point in time.
So I have it on the screen for a reason, because this happened with Dungeons and Dragons. This happened with video games back in the day with, the violence, and, video games were causing, school shootings and all this other stuff. Moral panic. The Wikipedia definition of a moral panic is a widespread feeling of fear, often an irrational one, that some evil person or thing threatens the values, interests, or well-being of a community or society. It's the process of arousing social concern over an issue, usually perpetuated by moral entrepreneurs and the mass media and exacerbated by politicians and lawmakers. So, when you see GamerGate trending on Twitter, right, and you look into who's perpetuating GamerGate.
Yeah, oh, shocker.
It is moral entrepreneurs and politicians. Nita Sarkeesian.
And media.
And the media.
The media will not let it go because we need clicks. What's something that always gets clicks? Hurry, slam, put GamerGate on it.
Yeah, so of course, Nita Sarkeesian coming up again, one of those personalities that you'd think would want to leave this in the rearview mirror. If it happened to me, if what she claims happened to her happened to me, I'd be like, I do not want to go back and talk about it. But apparently, oh my God, everybody's begging for money now. All these websites are begging for money now. They're all begging for money. Every single one you go to. She hates talking about GamerGate, but she has to.
No, she doesn't.
No, she doesn't. There have been so many articles. Every time anybody mentions anything negative in relationships to video games, here comes Nita Sarkeesian. It's again and again and again. So this was last month.
Because she doesn't get anywhere unless she uses GamerGate to get her somewhere.
I mean, that's pretty sad, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's what you're known for.
I would be upset by that. I'd be wanting to reinvent myself and do something different. But now it's attached to her, and she just like kind of embraces it.
So this article was posted last month, but of course she had to, give a shout out to that article, that interview yesterday or whatever, day before yesterday. And now everybody's talking about it, and they're like, now it's trending on Twitter, and I don't understand why they're trying to make it a thing again. So here's the thing. It's coming up in regard to the Pelosi attack, because they're trying to tie the guy who perpetuated the attack, who did the attack, who I don't know what I can say on YouTube and what I can't say. Hammerman. Hammerman.
It's hammer time.
It's hammer time. That guy. They're trying to tie him to GamerGate. They're also trying to tie Henry Cavill to GamerGate.
Basically, we're trying to make this as the new alt-right Yahtzee terminology that we could just say you're Gamergate and that labels you and causes you problems because they just slap it on you. Whether it's true or not is irrelevant. Like in our case, we had nothing to do with Gamergate, but they keep slapping our names with it because they're like, we'll get them lumped in with Gamergate. But we didn't do anything with Gamergate.
Anybody who is pro-gamer, anybody who is anti-extremism, anybody who has issues with gaming journalists or the digital media, that the circus that's grown up around gaming culture, that you have a lot of non-gamers.
Anybody who expects gamers that are writing articles about games to actually play the games.
Anything like that, you are labeled Gamergate years after the fact, years after this thing was supposed to be over. And now they're calling for letters to gaming companies could be the first step toward hearings or government action because gaming is a harassment and extremism problem.
Here's the problem. Yeah, okay, I'm not going to say that it never happens. People are harassed, and women are harassed online for gaming. I've seen it happen. But a lot of the ones who do a lot of the harassing are squeakers, but that's another story entirely. But so they're just going to have a witch hunt, then the moral panic, to go around and slap labels on people that they don't like or that they're going to deem as, alt-right and Gamergate. Whether or not it's true doesn't matter because they have decided.
Yeah.
And then they're doing it to target people or to get people removed they don't like. So you could be nothing of those things. Like you could go play games, like Neil could play games tomorrow, had nothing to do with any of the Gamergate, but because they say he is, they'll slap label on him and then take him off the game at the gaming platforms, even though he had nothing to do with it because they said so.
I do game.
It's basically the witch trials. Yeah, it's the witch trials.
The Witcher trials.
Well, yeah, pretty
right?
much. It's the witch trials all over again because somebody makes an accusation. Oh, they're witch. And then, well, of course they're witch because they said so. That there has to be evidence? No.
So they're writing a letter trying to get people to be less toxic, right? But now they're saying that Steam has a neo-Nazi problem. I remember when the problem with Steam was they had too much porn on Steam.
I thought maybe it was because sometimes they don't get their games out in time or whatever. No, it's neo-Nazis.
Ahead of the joint letter, Senator Maggie Hassan, note the letter, is also, and this was also, I just want to point this out. Back in the 90s.
I was thinking that.
Back in the 90s, it was Tipper Gore who led the charge against gamers. That games were awful, games were violent, Mortal Kombat was literally leading kids to rip off other kids' heads and spines.
And in the 80s, it was the Satanic Panic.
The Satanic Panic with Dungeons and Dragons, and also video games, they were addictive. I remember pinball. Pinball was outlawed in several cities and several states for a long time because it was addictive and kids were spending their money on pinball machines. So pinball was the devil.
Hey, Twitter is addictive. Social media is addictive. TikTok's addictive. Maybe we should just, they all are clearly alt-right. We should just remove them all.
Yeah, remove them all. So yeah, Steam apparently has a neo-Nazi problem. Users are displaying and espousing neo-Nazi, extremist, racial supremacist, misogynistic, and other hateful sentiment.
That's an awful large, broad whatever. Yeah. So basically, if you say something we don't like, we're going to label you as one of these things to get you removed. You said before, there are somehow more Nazis in America now than there ever was in World War II.
Yeah, I don't understand that. If the media is to be believed, there's a Nazi around every corner. There's a Nazi behind every bush.
They're hiding under the rocks.
So Steam's problematic because some of their users post some imagery or language that this Karen from New Hampshire doesn't like. Oh no! But here, let's talk about Henry Cavill. So this is the Salem Witcher trials. Mm-hmm. This is a rumor. We don't know what's going on. But if this is true, this is absolutely ridiculous. But, they're saying, according to this rumor...
Well, someone anonymously came forward and claimed that they worked on stuff.
Anonymously came forward and said that Henry Cavill was asked to leave The Witcher because he was a gamer bro and the writers on The Witcher didn't like his gamer-gate-ish, bro-ish attitude.
Basically, it sounds like he was doing what we already know, which was, hey, this isn't like the books or the games. What the hell are we doing? We should probably make some changes here so that it actually is reflective of the source material. But that's basically being QAnon.
Yeah, so they said...
I was reading these articles.
So this is, again, rumor. This is making the rounds. But the rumor was that Henry Cavill, who we know is a gamer. We know the guy's a gamer and a geek, and he's in all stuff. But they said that he would try to overrule the showrunner and get her to make changes last minute across the board without her knowledge, which, if you know anything about show running, is completely effed. Well, it sounds to me like he wasn't happy being a gamer with the direction of the Witcher show, which a lot of gamers were not. And also Halo and also all these other shows.
You missed the other thing. But, you know, during the second season especially, and in season 2 and 3, something shifted and he became really impossible for women to work with.
Oh, okay.
Because it was a big problem, and even worse because the showrunner's a woman.
No, I think what probably happened with the second and third season is he complained because they were deviating from the source material.
And the second season did not do as well. And the third season, they're getting a fourth season only, I think, is based on how well the third season does. You know, maybe they should have listened to him.
The showrunner has to sign off on every minuscule detail down to the buttons on the costume. Female writers and directors were suddenly being completely ignored on set, unable to do their jobs. Well, it's not just Henry Cavill, though, because remember, the showrunner of X-Men 97 came out and said there were people working on the show that actively disliked The Witcher.
They had a screenshot of one of the people that worked on the show on Twitter, and they were talking about maybe they were patriarchy slammer or something like that, patriarchy smasher.
Yeah, so let's work on a show that has a white male lead, and smash it and make it all about the women, and that's basically what
it kind of lines up here.
Every department head was complaining. He started making comments. It wasn't a sexual thing. He wasn't grabbing anyone, but he was being disrespectful and toxic.
He didn't do anything bad, but he dared question our vision of the show, which is going down the shithole, and so that makes him a toxic person.
So here's
you're supposed to just let women do whatever they want and not question them ever.
That's how it works for us. Yeah. Yes, dear.
Mm-hmm.
No,
I wouldn't ruin the show.
That's right. She wouldn't. I'd let her do what she wants, and she does good. Then she gets back in the kitchen. She makes me some pie. Sandwich. Make me a sandwich. Okay.
I make good pie, though.
You do make good pie. You make damn good pie. Better pie than I make. Anyway, he's deeply addicted to video games. This is the problem. Here it comes. To the point where it was like working with any other addict. He was distracted. He was
all
late.
of Hollywood then?
He was obsessive. And a lot of people think the misogyny came from the gamer world. Video game bro language is not how you talk to coworkers. He wouldn't stop. Someone on the show compared it to watching someone get brainwashed by QAnon. Like his whole personality shifted. Eventually his disrespect escalated.
Well, this doesn't make sense because he was a fan of the source material before he did the first season. And when they followed they followed the material more closely, there wasn't complaints about him doing this. When they started to deviate from it massively and make changes that didn't make any sense, and that he knew people wouldn't like, then he became basically QAnon.
Yes.
I'm like, you can't make this level of shit up. And they think this is actually doing themselves favors. Now you're just being laughable.
So what's gonna happen is Witcher season 3 is gonna land with a thud. A lot of people are gonna know about because they know Henry Cavill's not gonna be in it. Beyond that, and a lot of people are gonna know about because season 2 was dog shit.
Well, I was gonna still watch it, but after this kind of shit, I don't think I'm gonna even watch it at all.
He would rewrite scenes without, no, he's not allowed to do that, but he would rewrite scenes without even alerting other actors in the scenes until it was time to shoot. He decided he didn't want any romantic scenes at all, no kissing scenes, no shirtless scenes. Oh my God, how toxic. He doesn't want to, grope women.
Yeah, he didn't, wait, that's toxic.
He wanted complete control of storylines, but really had no idea of the limitations of TV, structure, budget, etc.
He's only worked in Hollywood for years and years, but he has no concept of anything related to Hollywood because he's brainwashed gamer.
Okay, here's where it gets interesting. He formed a weird alliance with one writer who was also a gamer, who eventually got fired after multiple HR complaints were made. And after that writer left, Henry did anything he could do to hold up production and cause problems. Is this the guy who works on X-Men 97? Because other people said that he got fired. I think he got fired because he was complaining that
he was probably, him and Cavill were both like, this is not the source material.
It's
not going to fly with people.
It's one
and they put a bunch of people in charge who have one of them has their ideas, patriarchy smasher. I mean, what the fuck did you think was going to happen?
Look at what happened with Halo. Does anybody care? Are they doing the second season? I think they're doing the second season. Nobody's talking.
You have to have people who understand the source material.
So they said eventually the top brass at Netflix was tired of him costing them money with delays in HR investigations, and the showrunner was asked to construct a potential exit for him. That would be that writer. Netflix reached out to him personally, and he was given one final warning and violated that warning with an email he sent to the entire writing staff right after that meeting. That was it. It's disappointing. So it sounds like, which is kind of shocking, that gaming and video games were the demise of Henry Cavill, which is wild. So wild I would have never guessed it. Anyway, just wanted to read that for you guys. GamerGate. It's GamerGate. GamerGate poisoned Henry Cavill. No, they've had it in for Henry Cavill. They've had it out for him since They've had in and out for him. Some people have. Ever since he was with Gina Carano. They found out that he dated Gina Carano like 15 years ago.
They didn't care until they were mad about Gina Carano. And then that one thing. And then they keep bringing up, when he was 30, he dated a 19-year-old who was legal. I mean, look, I think that's kind of personally, in my opinion, like, but you know what? It was still like adults and they were consenting adults. So, I mean...
You know, it's not like that one cartoon showrunner that bragged about how she followed a 13, 14-year-old boy around a carnival for hours and, you know, wanted to stalk him. And
it wasn't like all the creepy, you know, stuff that was in She-Ra with like 2 underage characters.
But yeah, so GamerGate's coming back. They want it to come back. They want it to come back because they're trying to push through whatever laws. Basically, what they want is... They want gamers to mind their damn business and shut the hell up.
We've been telling you that they keep trying to bring this back for a while now. This is another example we've been telling you. Like, they're desperately trying to make it stick again.
Yeah, these are not, like, I could have swore these headlines were pulled from, like, 2014. These are this year, just in the last couple months. You know, GamerGate's name-checked in Slate articles, Game Industry Biz articles, Kotaku, of course. Yet, man behind the hammer attack was radicalized by GamerGate. They want GamerGate to come back. September 9th. And, you know, if you look into it, you're probably going to find the same handful of people going out to journalists. Oh my God, Amber Heard.
Kotaku. Vilifying Amber Heard shows you learned nothing from GamerGate. Well, no, it's called vilifying Amber Heard because when you see the evidence, there's a reason to vilify Amber Heard. And that was well after the court hearing was over and the evidence was shown. People turned on Amber Heard when they saw the evidence and they had nothing to do with GamerGate. Most people didn't even play games. This is absolute ludicrous stupidity and I can't even.
Yeah, so they want it to come back, guys. That's the thing. For all the crying about...
All the alt-right got their moves from gamers. I'm like, are you effing kidding me right now?
Up, down. Let's wrap this up. Don't give them what they want, guys. This is what they want. And I don't think it's going to work anymore. They were lamenting, you know, Twitter. They're like, well, without Twitter, how are we going to stop the GamerGaters?
We're just like laughing at you because you're so fucking stupid. It hurts. And like, I'm not saying that there isn't some toxic behavior in gaming because I've seen it. I've totally seen it. And as a woman, I've seen some really shitty things leveled because I was a girl. But you know what? There's, as sad as it is, a lot of them were like kids, which is, you know.
Yeah.
But it's not because everybody's alt-right. I'm so tired. And you know what? There's a lot of people that play games from other countries. They aren't even American. This is stupid.
Can gaming Twitter survive Elon Musk? These people.
Yeah. Well, look. I'm taking a look at the person who wrote it.
Oh my God. Seriously? Like this, that's okay. They're going to be out of a job here pretty soon anyway because the Guardian's begging for money and everybody's getting laid off. But still, they want GamerGate to come back. They want it to come back because it's good for clicks, it's good for outrage, it's good for, passing stupid laws to censor people and the bullshit. Let's wrap this up. All right. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.